that Sunday is kind of part of this week. Cool. Yes. And I'm excited to see Wild as well. It's been a while since I didn't see Wild, my cat. Hopefully this weekend. Yes, and another personal win. So we found a good vendor who's going to help buying furniture for my new apartment. So like at the end of the month, hopefully things are going to be complete. And this was another thing that has been waiting on my agenda for a while. Because of not having furniture, I couldn't move in yet. But now it's getting fixed. So those are the personal wins from the week. Thank you very much. Am I the last one?
Yes. I think the next one is the organizational wins. So
all right. So team, this is not actually wins from 1 week. This is from the wins of the US visit. So I categorized it in 3 categories. The first group of the win is we formed our business team, guys. Brian Bell, who was our board president, is joining us as head of business. He has experience in building talent marketplaces. He worked at Upwork, I think, over 4 years in the past. And we want to build talent marketplace for Project Escalate. For some of the talent that A2SV produces and that is not currently being utilized simply because we don't have the open position. And this team also has Spencer, who has experience in fundraising over 10 years. His experience was in political space, so he is learning how to raise money for education purposes with us. But his experience in fundraising helps because he knows the donor profiles and he has done this in the US. He already has a network. And Spencer is part-time on our team. So next, Gerila Asnake. So the name may sound familiar, right? It's Habesha. So she has been in Ethiopia, born and raised. And during college, she relocated to the United States. So she is like Jordanos in many senses. She has university recruiting experience over 5 years at Coursera plus Quora. And after that, she also worked for a VC firm and did placements for their portfolio companies. Meaning she has experience in placing to big tech as well as small top tech, educating us about behavioral interviews, the psychological aspect, how to run conversations with the recruiters, how to update your CV, your LinkedIn profile. So she has a rich experience educating students as well as connecting students with opportunities. So and she is becoming full-time with us, meaning she's also going to be helping some business development efforts because she's located in Santa Monica. This is the heart of Los Angeles. So it's a very good location to make reach outs to some tech companies in Silicon Beach, as well as some high wealth individuals. So if you remember, one of our main agenda items for this US trip was to bring financial resources. So we didn't get a confirmation on the financial resources, but we set the mechanism and our US arm to make these connections, to further these conversations, and bring some results. So hopefully, in the next few months, we are going to get some good news in terms of new opportunities, new partnerships, as well as new donations. Next, throughout the trip, we also made some recordings. So in Bay Area, we made recordings with Ricardo. We had a very nice lunch, and then he said some great things about A2SV. With Andy. Andy also lives in Santa Monica, by the way. They are very close with Ezgi. So we did some recordings with Andy as well. And in terms of portfolio, guys, in United States, the average age of a donor, have you guys heard before? Any guesses?
70.
70, 70.
Yeah.
Close. 64.
What I understand is you want me to be.
So if you ask me, I would go with like 40, 45. There is no way I would say a number that is above 60. But this is the reality. So we had some good recordings with Andy, with Brian as well. And we have done some network visits. Roger Kerwin, who is our treasurer in our board, he also works at Square or Black with its new name. Financial analyst, researcher at LA Capital.
Yeah.
It's an investment firm, and they manage billions of dollars of portfolio. And I stayed with him. Like, he lives in Lake Arrowhead. If some of you guys had a call with me when I was in that mountain house, it's really beautiful, guys. Like, it's very nice. Like, I relax a lot when I'm there mentally because it's in the middle of nature. Now, if you look around, you may potentially see places where are touched by human, right? Everywhere. And in that mountain house, you just hear birds, you just see the trees. It was really nice. And Mete is a great guy, so we also exchanged ideas. And he's also going to introduce us to his organization too. Next, Jeff Dean, like, we didn't have a formal meeting with him, but we had a chance to catch up in the halftime of a soccer game. So luckily, the first game I had in the league was against his team. So it was a good game.
One.
I don't remember, but it was either a draw or we lost. So game, guys, it wasn't the best. Indeed, in my second and third games, I assisted and scored, so they were better games. But the first one, it was the first one.
Largo? No, McLaren għalli b'għamad.
Together at lift. Yes, lunch with them. It was very nice.
Yes, yes.
Bay Area. So I visit my Turkish friends who are working.
Yeah, send me the.
I have seen in the previous visit. So that's one, a rock star as a surprise visitor came and gave a concert. I have never been in such kind of environment before, guys, but it was an interesting experience. So I have seen a friend to Sydney, a person who did PhD in Stanford and worked at top tech companies like Facebook over 4 years. And she's actually very interested in what we do. And she's currently in Sydney, Australia, and she may visit us in Ethiopia. Let's see if that works. Like, she's also an amazing person in many areas. Like, on the paper, she has a stronger CV than I have. So if she has any interest in helping us in our journey, that would be an amazing win for us, guys. So it's just the potential. We will see. Yes, so these are the summary of wins from my US visit. So overall, did we reach all of our goals? I wouldn't say so. Did we reach 80% of our goals? Yes. Did we get some additional results which were not part of the plan initially? Yes. Like in this business team, we had Ezgi part-time, we didn't have Galila, Spencer was part-time, and Brian was just our board member. He wasn't part of execution actively. And now when we look at it, there are many experienced brain cycles in the US that are dedicated for A2SV continuously. And the biggest win is going to be because previously it was mostly when I'm in the US things were moving. But now that we have our up and running all over the California. But it was nice. I'm happy with the results, and it feels great to be back. So now let's get some things done. So now let's take a look at the plans. An expo is coming at the beginning of February for the core dev team. We'll get more details from, I hope, Zelala in the next 10, 15 minutes. And for that reason, we are going to finalize our minimum remarkable product plans. Now, the bar is not the viable product anymore for core dev. It's not just about the functionality. It should be remarkable because we want retention on our products. So the difference between attention and retention, guys. Attention is getting the first look. When somebody downloads your app, you get the attention. But retention is users keep coming back to your app. Again and again with the language. Going on a first date is attention. And if there is an interest, you go for the second date, third date, fourth date, the conversation flows. This is retention. So in terms of our metrics, how do we see these things? Your total number of users, if 100 people downloaded your app, 100 people took a look. So how can you check the retention? You can actually check how often these people are coming back through the metrics such as daily active user count. And you can do deeper analysis. If you have 100 users, it shouldn't take so much time to see where are their app open events. And you can see how much engagement they have. And what is our objective, guys? Our objective is, and those users are going to be your key to make this experience better and better for the users. So one thing that I'm observing in the work of the core dev team, not just in the core dev team, also in social media, sometimes in education as well. Guys, when we are doing things for the first time, we don't have a high quality bar. And it's not team specific, it's not department specific. I don't know, maybe it's continent specific. I see similar issues in Ghana as well. Like today I was sending a photo to core dev members in Ambassador. Like this is one of the luxurious places around, right? There is a restaurant image. Was it Daku restaurant? Something like that. What was the name of the restaurant, guys? Daku. And there is a typo in restaurant, guys. So somebody designed it. Somebody sent it to printer. Somebody printed. Somebody brought it and put in Ambassador. Most probably different people. And nobody is bothered by that typo. So this is the quality bar that I'm talking about that we need to raise. Because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything, guys. Have a high quality bar at first iteration. Ask yourself, is this your best? Because not making a typo in today's world, like it's a necessity, guys. You have Grammarly, you have ChatGPT, you have Google. I don't have any explanation for this. And no, it's not going to get fixed in the reviews. It shouldn't go to the reviews like that, guys. You should have a self-quality, self-control mechanism. Okay? So if we want to be globally competitive from Africa, we need to raise our quality bar, guys. All of us. For other things you do as well. It's not chikarellem. No, there is a problem. And fix it, please. You can do this. We can do this. Next. Hopefully we are going to finalize the payroll. I didn't see the last status tape. Do we have any contracts that are not sent yet? 2 or 3? Okay. When do you think we can finish them? 1 day would be enough? Okay, so with this information, hopefully we can finalize this next week, right? Cool. After finalizing the payroll, what's going to be the next, guys? Sending the gap payments. Because of the wise issue and like new joiners, some people didn't get payment for their past salaries, and we are going to do the calculations and we will be sending them as well. And we are going to send out our annual message. So there is the caption part as well as the video part. And since this is sent once a year, the quality bar is very high, guys. like the other content that we produce. And it's going to be coming out next week in a specialized manner for different platforms, for different partners and contributors of A2SV. And lastly, residency and work permit applications. So we have one transfer to Ghana. I'm not sure if it's going to be announced today. Vanessa here, help as well. We are looking for long-term solutions for our international members operating in, away from their home countries. So that's the agenda for the next week. Thank you very much, team. This was beefy since I was gone for a while. I hope you enjoyed.
I think we have pictures and.
Oh, okay, yes. So let's remember them quickly again. Brian Bell, he was already our board president, and he's head of business at, not Escalate.io, at A2SV. Maybe there was a typo there. He's head of business at A2SV. And Spencer, as I mentioned, he has plenty of experience in fundraising, and he's located in San Diego. He's also in California, but another city. Gerila Asnake, I told you about her background. She was in recruiting. She knows about student end, she knows about engineer end, she knows about company end and recruiter end. A great communicator who is going to help us building partnerships, bringing opportunities, and educating our talent about interviews. And lastly, Ezgi, who was already our head of social media, has become full-time with us. And she's also going to help building business development and partnership as well. Yes, some photos from the trip. We start with Roger. Actually, this takes place in the last days of the visit. And Roger is on an extended leave from Square. So like he was working continuously for over 8 years, guys. And this guy is a real overachiever, you know. So he really works his asses off. So after such a time, like such a break, like I have seen the change in his character. Now he has become a more relaxed version, more calm version of him. I really like the change. So it was really great to catch up after a long time. So in this photo, you see Mete. We have been playing a board game. So there are many interesting board games, guys. Indeed, I want to bring some in my next trip. So the one that we are playing is against the board. So there are some logic puzzles that you need to solve. Like you have some clues, and then based on those clues, you look at the images, you see an item, there are some objects, they point you to some directions, and you solve a puzzle there. So it's a lot of fun, and it makes you think. So there were many interesting challenges. Like in one, you even had to put something under the water. Like you have a paper, you put it under the water. After you pass the water on, there is a number. And that number is needed to solve a puzzle. So very, very interesting concept. I hope we are going to bring more of it to A2SB. So next one, Mete is a huge fan of LA Clippers for basketball lovers. And we had a chance to see Clippers versus Warriors game. Actually, it's Warriors versus Clippers with NBA ordering because it was in LA. And Clippers won. That was a good game, close game. My second NBA game, guys, and the first one was horrible. It was Sacramento Kings against another team, and we were around Sacramento. We just saw about the game. It was happening in an hour. We bought the ticket and we went to the game. At the end of first half, Kings were losing with more than 40-point difference. At home, at the end of first half, already 40 points behind. So there was no point in the game, but this one was good. So the next photo on the left bottom. Guys, I told you things are getting worse in the US, right? The same with the security as well. So this has happened in downtown Oakland. So Oakland is a dangerous place, but not downtown Oakland, you know. When the police come after 4 hours, they said, hey, like you see, after 3 blocks that line, I'm like, yes. So before that, there were a lot of crime on the other side of the city, but not on this side. And not anymore. So they don't have security cameras. The police comes there to write the report, and they actually made something improved in comparison to Ethiopia, guys. In Ethiopia, when the police comes, they file the report. There is no online report file. But in the US, you can file your report online. So they don't even file the report. The police comes and convinces you to file it online and go. So yes, security-wise, it's dangerous, guys. And this car I rented, like it was very cheap due to Black Friday. There was a discount. And it turned out to be 2024. Normally, when the rental car is new, you would be happy, right? Guys, since the glass was broken and it's a new car, oh my God. There was a tiny window. We don't have that photo here. Like just on the left of the car, not the back one. In order to find it, I had to have calls with over 10 glass repairers, 5 mini dealers. Tiny window, but it took so much time and effort. It got fixed in the last day. So I came on Wednesday. On Tuesday, it got fixed. That's the story of that one. And the last photo, so this one is from the holiday party. So Ezgi and I, we went together. So Ezgi's friend was actually organizer of the event. And as I mentioned, we met very interesting people over there. And indeed, Tuğçe may end up coming here. Yes, so this is the story from the US trip. Yaret, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Emre, for the updates, the wins, and the plans we've heard about the organization. Next, we're going to be hearing the updates and plans, the wins and plans for the in-person education in Ethiopia from Brooksod.
Right. Thank you, Yarid. Hi again. All right, so for Ethiopia education updates, in-person education updates, for our wins, if you guys remember last week, or the one before that last week, we started the YouTube lecture series. And it's under review to continue shooting the other videos. We want to have a bar or a standard. And because of that, we are reviewing it. And then next week, we hope to continue the series. We updated the A2SCB companion to work for code forces. The A2SCB companion is an extension that was built by Terla, our very own. It's basically a way to submit your code from LeetCode or code forces to the progress sheet where we track the progress of our students. So originally, it only tracked for LeetCode. Now it expanded to code forces as well. We continued G5 education in AIT and AIS2 last week, especially for AIS2. We made the purchase of the projectors, but we didn't deliver it there. For AIT, they got it early. So for AIS2, Amati took it last week, or this week, I guess. For both schools, we covered 2 pointers as a lecture, but they have different schedules, the two schools, for their final exams. And because of that, we have to make some adjustments. And for AIT, this week, we gave the sliding window lecture. I was actually one of the lecturers. It went really good. We started first camp planning. We planned which lectures we're going to cover in the first camp, which was an important step. We still would have other meetings after this one. And for Adama, ASU, they started their first phase of education after the onboarding phase, and they have started conducting their one-on-ones. All right, so for AIT and ASU, last week we said we distributed the A2SCB notebooks and pens, and we did. But for AIS2, we haven't, and we couldn't this week either. This is because our vendor for the pens, they didn't deliver it on time. They say it's gonna be finalized this week, and hopefully we're going to distribute next week. If not, we're going to be looking for other vendors to pursue the pens, and once it's completed, we're going to distribute them in AIS2 as well. And another one that we had in our agenda was signing the MOU with Adama Science and Technology University. Also, we have the verbal confirmation. We haven't signed the actual thing. And this is taking too long because of their busy schedules that they have. They said by latest next week, we're going to sign it. Now that Emre is here, it's going to be easier. Announced new hirings for Education Squad. This was planned for last week. We're going to have a little surprise later on, so you can consider it completed. For G4 education, since finals are near and we have holidays, we're gonna announce the breaks. We announced the break and the plans that we have for the secondary education for G4. It happened yesterday. We were collaborating with the remote education squad for interviews. And as for our plans, we're going to continue G5 education as normal next week, and then we're going to have the final break afterwards. We're going to finalize the first phase of education for AIT with this, because next time we come back, we're going to start the camp. We're going to continue the lecture series, and we are also going to have a new series on YouTube, the what, the how, and the why at UT3. I just named it this way. We might rephrase it later on, but basically we have important policies and proceedings in UT3, right? How check-in, check-out works, how we use Google Sheet. So we're going to have that open door policy with our, I wouldn't call it fans, but people who engage with us. We're going to post it on YouTube and have a series there. We're going to continue collaborating with the remote education squad to complete the interviews. Yes. And the announcement for remote education is going to stay a little bit while longer because we haven't finalized the students' recruitment. But for in-person heads, we have an important update or announcement. So since the recruitment process for the in-person side has been completed for a while, today we're going to make the announcement. So introducing the new education squad members. So we have our new community head of education interns, Amanil Allahin, Nanil Daraja, and Betalim Yamana. Texted them to join the meeting. Are you guys in the meeting? Let's start with Betalim. Betalim, congrats. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Yes, we can hear you. A few words from you would be appreciated.
Okay, so I also just heard about this. I'm super excited about the opportunity. I want to thank our heads and all of the HSC squad, and also Emery for making this happen. I'm looking forward to announce some years working with you guys. Thank you. Hello.
Bethlehem, we couldn't hear you clearly, but I think. Okay, do you have anyone else in the call who was promoted to being community intern?
All right, so do we have either Amanuel or Nathanael? Nathanael Daraja, you're muted. Let's hear a couple of words from you.
Yeah, I'm
Your voice is a bit far, Nathanael.
What about now? Am I audible now? Oh, okay. I'm actually on the phone, but I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
We were congratulating you for becoming the new head of education intern for our community education program at ASB. Congrats, Nat.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Okay, so how does it go? I'm going to say a few words, right?
Yes, so we didn't tell them that they got hired. They're listening to this with you guys. So congrats, Nati. It's okay to have that action, I guess. Congrats again. All right, so you're welcome. Going to the next slide. Oh, yes. So for our new remote head of education intern, Kananisa Alamayo, I don't think he's in the meeting. Maybe Yared, you can say a few words about Kananisa.
So, Ananisa, I think most of you is one of our students in Group 47 from last year. And he's an overachiever, Kananisa. And I think he'd be a great addition to our squad. And he'd be contributing a lot to remote education. I think that's it for the words.
All right. And for our new AAT Head of Education intern, Fikerno Brown.
Very much. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Fikerno.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy. Thank you very much. Actually, so I didn't partake in the first round of interviews to join the education squad, but you know, I kind of was feeling regrets because I gave a couple of lectures and I felt, am I making a mistake here? And yeah. I'm very grateful for this second opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Fikerno. Welcome to the team. All right. And now for our new AIT education operator, Ananya Fikramaram. He is one of our best students in G4. I don't think he's in the meeting. Yeah. And the next one is EAS2 education operator, Mikias Alamu. We heard great things from his aides. Congrats, Mikias, and welcome to the team. And now for our promotions and transfers. So these were new hirings that we had, and we also have some promotions and transfers within the old squad. And the first one is Matthias Johannes. So this is a transfer. Matthias has been in the community education for a while now and helped out a lot. But for the secondary education that we have at EAS2, we need one more experienced head. And because of that, we made the transfer from community to in-person education. Congrats, Mati. Is Mati in the meeting? Yes, Mati.
Yes, okay, thank you. Thank you, Burke. I'm glad to, I look forward to contribute my best in my new position as well.
Thank you, Mati. All right, and the final promotion that we have for today is Galila Tafarra. She was a G5 Head of Education intern for the past 2 months-ish. Now that we moved Tolosa from AIT to Adama, the promotion was in order. And congratulations, Galila. We have her in the, yes.
Thank you to taking on more responsibilities as him.
All right, so that was in-person Ethiopia education updates. And do we have Fusum in the meeting? Oh. And for our Ghana education updates, Fusum, take the stage. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brooke. Okay, hello everyone. Fatsum Abiyu, Head of Education for ETSV Ghana. Congrats to everyone who have been promoted or who just joined our education team. So for this week's wins, we had planned to have cyclic sword lecture, so we'll be having it tomorrow. I know it's a bit weird to have lectures on Saturdays, but that's how we are going to do it. And for mock interviews, we have been having bi-weekly mock interviews, but most of our students haven't had the mock interviews last week. So we continue to have it this week as well. And also, we needed a support letter from the university in order to get accommodations in the campus. So we got the letter this morning, and we will be going to the dormitories and submitting the letters right after this meeting. So those are the wins for this week. And for next week's plans, We will be having monotonicity lecture, and our students will be getting onboarded to the dormitories, and the bi-weekly mock interviews will continue to be held for students who had the mock interviews last week, and we'll be having continued one-on-ones. So those are the wins and plans for Ghana education. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for Kulsum about the Ghana education updates? Or Kulsum, thank you. I don't think we have any questions from here. So let's move on. Thank you for giving us the updates.
Thank you.
All right, next thing is going to be remote education and community education updates. I'll be giving you the remote education wins and plans. So for this week in remote education, one of our wins is that we started early for our education sessions. So we're planning on starting our education as soon as we finalize this recruitment process, which most of the education squad or all of the educational squad is aware of, because you guys are helping us out with the interviews, and we're thankful for that. That's also one of our wins. We were reviewing and grading the most G5 applicants, having interviews on Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's going to be over, guys. Education squad, just hang in there with us. We're going to be giving you freedom after some time. And another win we've had from the G4 second year remote education is our Telegram bot development. So our second year education students are working on developing Telegram bots. It's part of the learning path in the second year education. And that's been going on. And next week, they're going to finalize this. And we're going to see, I'm sure we're going to see great projects, Telegram bots from our remote education students. And we'll make sure to mention it in the next weekly wins so that you guys know what we've been doing. And another plan is finalize the preparation for our education sessions and make sure that we're going to start strong in the remote education squad. Those are the we've had the wins for this week and the plans for the next week. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. If not, yes, Dan. So the Telegram bot is one of the requirements in second year education. So the students are going to be learning how to develop a Telegram bot. And in remote education, actually, our second year remote education heads decided to make it a kind of a competition amongst the students. So the students are developing their own Telegram bots. So they give them some requirements, things they need to do, they need to include in the bots they develop. And some of them, they're adding extra things. So as I promised earlier, you're going to see great projects by next week. Any other questions? Yes, Amber.
So how many applications did we get for remote education, ballpark, not the exact number, outside of Ethiopia?
Outside of Ethiopia, we've received around 1,000. It's not 1,000 yet, it's 950 something.
And how many people are getting interviews among those?
So amongst them, in the first round, we've interviewed around 250 people. And this round, we're interviewing the same, around 250 people. So totally, it's going to be 500 people are going to be interviewed.
And like, how many countries we have more than 10 people who will be interviewed? Like double digits, with how many countries we reach for the spotlight?
For the interviews?
Yes.
For the interviews, it's around 7 countries, I think.
Wow.
7 or 6 countries.
7 countries, we have more than 10 people to interview.
Yes, yes, we do.
So guys, this year it's really becoming Africa's Silicon Valley.
That is true.
Great job.
All right, so next is going to be community wins and updates, and it's going to be presented to you by Ferus.
Hello everyone, this is Ferus, community lead. Congratulations, Betelhem and Asnain. You'll be working with me, and yeah, let me get you to the wins and plans of community. So we've finalized the learning paths. I've told you before, there is a learning path we're creating for our newcomers, and we had a review session for this week, and we've added a couple of ingredients to the learning path, and it's done. So next week, community education will be starting. and it will be announced to all channels. The other one is feedback doc analysis. So we've been analyzing documents we've received from Hackathon different personas, and this is also one of the wins we have in community this week. And the other one is conducting remote interviews. We've been helping remote education squad conducting interviews, and the most exciting one is we had the first coding community in Strathmore University. Strathmore University is actually one of the top 3 universities located in Kenya, and they have this coding community called Savannah. They are around 70 members, and they have around 60 active members currently. And the aim of this coding community was inspired from E2SV, and they tried to create their own E2SV within them. They had success story last year, 2023 as well, and we had the first communication with them. We're gonna onboard to this 60 participants in Silicon Savannah remote interview process in Strathmore University. So the plans for community is gonna be, we're gonna start communication like I've said. It's gonna be hopefully on Wednesday. We're gonna get a custom contest for our previous community members to identify how much they've improved so far and to give them the rightful divisions through our custom contest. And we're gonna continue conducting remote interviews as well. Any questions for community yet? That's all.
All right, thank you, Feruz, for giving us the updates on community education. Next thing is going to be communication updates, and it's going to be presented by Vanessa.
Thank you, Yared. Afternoon, everyone. So from the communications team, we have a lot of things that were going on. So first of all, as we promised, we had the January content plan finalized, and it's now rolling with the social media team. And then also in terms of social media, we had different posts we had in different platforms, which included the 2023 roundup. Some of them were memes. We had New Year's Reels. We had Ask to Education updates as well. And then also had a communication skills post today featuring Andy. And then also, I had a meeting with a direct development foundation person. They also do almost same thing as A2SV, but pretty much A2SV is doing more. They're based in Ethiopia and they're based in Kenya as well. So from there, we were linking synergies in terms of how we can have some sort of partnerships and gain from each other. And from there, we are still in communication, and he could also introduce us to some of the investors or organizations that support projects. So as soon as our CODEV projects are ready, that's also something to take note of, and also their projects as well. And also maybe in terms of synergies in enhancing their curriculum as well for high school students, and also in terms of introductions with maybe the Kenyan students as well, so that in case of remote education recruitment, it can become easier to get a base. Also, I have been collecting some summarized information from all departments for the annual newsletter. So I've been thinking about this for several weeks now. So since it's an annual newsletter, the quality bar, it's been said, it's very high. So from the different departments, I have asked for specific information, and I think some departments have delivered, others by end of day today, so that I can look at this over the weekend. And from here, we're going to have like detailed newsletter instead of like a summarized article for this. And also considering having it in the form of a brochure, like a newsletter and something like that, just beyond LinkedIn, since it will be very detailed now. And then also in terms of video production, we've been doing some interview shoots with some of the students and some of the alumni as well, so that we can include these interviews for the annual video. And also because we need to increase the pool of the videos we have. Since now ESG is full-time, we're going to be making a lot of videos for different targets as well. And then also we started conversations on how we can articulate the CODEV project social media presence with the product team. So we're going to be looking into that and introducing some of them, like having their own LinkedIn profiles or Instagram profiles, depending on what strongholds that type of industry has. So we're going to be doing this with the product team, and our social media managers are going to be working on this and also creating like the brand identity as well for the different projects. And then also we finished the interview partners video. So along with the annual video, we hope that this can also go to our interview partners via email. And then also, I have mentioned before, there is a company in the US that we're now working with in communications that helps us with, that is going to be helping us with messaging the right way to capture the right audience, especially in the US, like the donors. So also in terms of deliverables, this week we managed to get the first donors letter sample from them, and then also a messaging recommendation document that we're going to be using now for our messaging on social media, on the website, and also like on templates and letters that are going to be going to the donors as well. Moving on to our plans. As I've mentioned, after collecting this information from different departments about 2023, we're going to have the A2SV annual newsletter. We're also going to have Emirates newsletter, and then we're also going to have the newsletter in the form of a brochure layout. And then also in terms of social media posts, hand in hand with our content plan for January, we're going to be having G4. We want to showcase like what the G4 education has been doing. Lately, we have been showing the stories of G5 students, Adama as well. So now we want to also show the group education, second year of the G4 group education. And also going to have some Slack feed about little videos about how to heads up, how to use, and is going to be on our, and it's working on that. So hopefully by next week, the only thing that's remaining is the today. Also interview with the, and then from there I think that will also seeing right of the deliverable from what next step, like just work with us as in EPI. And then also last but not least, we're also going to be expecting the Google funding press release from the task group. They're going to work on the press release for the Google funding that A2SV. Other plans will have them as we go. So questions?
I have one question. What's the task group?
Summarize it?
It's a public relations company, and they work with many for-profits and non-profit organizations. So indeed, the way we reach out to them, first we looked at some top companies in public relations with non-profit experience. And we contacted about 5 to 8 companies. We talked with 3 to 4, and Task was the one that has given us the best vibes, I would say. And we started our engagement in December. So they are learning about us, and they are going to educate us in communication, especially for the US audience. Right, like none of us here in Ethiopia are the native speakers, and are resonating with different groups of people. Yeah. So they will educate our leadership, and they are going to provide feedback on our content. So far, it's been going well.
Yeah, I think we had. Yeah, I think it's the 4th one. So what's left is to now. I think in time they'll also get how
so I'll be giving first updates. For our wins, first I of the PRD for all teams. And last PRD was finalized yesterday. We started working yearly plan for 2024. Which will give us a year. From all the teams, and we've started as it maybe. So we've also did the hiring process. And next we will continue and be done by our good progress. Next, we finalized the feedback to started because we saw some sort of problem and investigation, and we gave some evaluate and give our feedback by next week. Next, we've held partnership meetings, and these meetings are held so that we can give our core dev team members the best possible partnership for them, and to give them all the resources that they need to be successful. And currently, we are working on. This week, we conducted 3 meetings for different core dev teams. And last, our win is we successfully booked booths in the upcoming Disrupt Expo, which will be held at Skylight Hotel. And this event will take place on February 1 and 2. And we believe this expo is a great place for our core dev team members and also for the student projects, as it will give them a lot of exposure and maybe some meaningful partnerships. Yeah, so the win for us. Our plan for next week, we'll start working on the interview analysis and interviews and PRDs. Yeah. Next, we'll work on the marketing strategy document for the dev teams. We need this document in order to start social media presence for the team, and we plan to have social media page set up for all the teams by the end of January. And we'll finalize the hire process for UI UX members. We've already did a job post. After we get final approval, we'll be posting it. We hire UX members in the next coming few weeks. So next, also pick 8 to display at the because we are in the expo also. Even with teams, there is student, so we need to election. Business-oriented events hosted by the. So this event is not only an expo. There will be several events leading up to the expo, and in these events, business-oriented and some cocktails. So during these small satellite events, lectures and some prominent people coming and addressing some problems that we might have. So this will all be very beneficial to us. So we'll be attending these in the coming weeks. So that's it for the product updates. Thank you. Yeah.
Is UX kind of part of product team now or
yeah, UX is now incorporated.
Well, and for that, next is going to be development updates. And I think everyone knows who's going to be presenting for AfroChat. Let's welcome Thaddeus with a round of applause, mate.
In terms of the mobile app, and we are finalizing and understanding what should be prioritized and what should be removed, especially for the expo, because that's when we kind of launch the biggest user interaction we're gonna get. So that's also a priority. Other than that, there was admin dashboard integration. We made the endpoints and now we're ready to integrate it, and most of the components are being done. There are minor things that are left, and we're also gonna address it. Also, we have been working on the mobile app testing, making sure it's no bugs are found from our perspective, and also we are engaging with users and getting their feedback, and especially on the Telegram mini app and the Telegram group discussion. There is a lot of conversation happening on the group discussion, so if everybody can join and maybe also get that communication rolling, that would be great. So for the plans for next week, it's going to be mobile modification based on the user analysis. We're going to start prioritization for the expo, how to prepare the new features, and also change things based on the analysis we have. Also, we're going to have admin dashboard review with Emre. We're going to need to discuss on the priorities, also includes the time-based analysis, because some features were recently introduced and we need to also consider that. And also we're going to structure the teams so that some members are going to prioritize organizational internal tools, while some are going to focus on the improvement on the mobile. And other than that, the organization experimentation will also be conducted with different the company I mentioned, and also here in interest. That's it. Any questions?
One question.
Yeah.
You mentioned there are some features that were added recently. Can you tell us about those?
So the one was like image based, like text to image, and like we added it on the Telegram group and also on the mini app and also on the mobile app, and it seems to be the one that's most used by everybody. So we are trying to introduce features like that for the expo. Demo, maybe. I don't have my phone right now. Yeah, maybe. Check that.
It's on the group, right?
Yeah. On the group, yes.
Or we can have it after.
You have Telegram on your computer, right?
Yes. Yeah, so like, yeah, pretty much, yeah. So a cityscape, this one. Yeah, okay. What should I?
Any ideas? General economics?
Ethiopia. Okay.
open 180 skills in front of our library for Ethiopian Christians.
Oh, traditional games. I was gonna say traditional games. Traditional games. Yes. Okay, to. Oh my God. I'm sorry, my knowledge is. I don't know where. Internet connected? Yes. I don't know where Emre is, but he's somewhere. Okay. Yeah. So make sure to check it out and. Yes. So the link on the slide. So you can scan this code and get it, or maybe we can send it on Slack. Yeah. Great. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Thaddeus, for that. Next, it's going to be updates about adults. It's going to be presented by Aruna.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm going to be presenting the wins and plans for adults. So I guess this week. So this week we have finally finished populating the database with the localized content. So adult is available in Amharic now. So yeah, that's another thing. So another thing is we have finalized the admin dashboard content management. So we actually populated our database using the content management. So yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is we have finalized the MOU document. We haven't signed it yet. Hopefully we'll do that next week. So I guess. The other thing is we have also localized our Telegram bot. So we haven't deployed it yet, but it's also available in Amharic. So for the plans next week we'll be going back and doing some feature prioritization. So we looked at our Telegram community and we've noticed that there is less engagement. So we'll be coming up with features that will keep users' retention. I think it has been already mentioned by Emre. So user retention is something that we'll be prioritizing. So for that, I will, I guess, be brainstorming on some features. So the other thing is MOE signing with Blue Hills. Now that the document has been finalized, we'll set the dates and we'll be sign the documents. Okay, so the other thing is the admin dashboard analytics UI. So since we have finished the content management, now we will be focusing on the analytics. So since we'll be onboarding users, we need to see how users are engaging with our app. So this is going to be a priority for us. Any questions?
When is the user engagement onboarding going to be done?
User onboarding?
Yeah. Have we started already?
Yes, we've started already. I guess it's been very difficult for adults because it was hard to get pregnant women. But after we, I guess, finalize our partnership with Blue Hills, they'll be helping us out on this. Any other questions?
And then is
Sure, we can. Why not? Any other? I don't have a demo yet. Hopefully next week.
Thank you, Aruna, for that. Next, it's going to be Akil and will be presented by Mahalet.
Okay, for this week, Akil, we had a discussion with Emre about the next plans for Akil. we're going to have like another role in our platform, which is volunteer groups, volunteer method. So we had a brainstorming session and discussion on what to bring in our platform so that these roles will also be addressed in our platform. And we will do the feature prioritization and documentation next week, and we did the discussion in brainstorming sessions for this week. And we've also reached out to volunteer group leaders. There are some volunteer groups that are actively like looking for opportunity and things like that. So we send out our mobile app for testing to be shared with those volunteer groups. We call the group leaders, and they are using our mobile app. So hopefully we will also find more volunteers that's interested in our existing opportunities. So in terms of development, we have migrated all our files from Cloudinary to GCP backend, and like there are like the files where like we only have the links, so we have downloaded all the files and moved into our GCP bucket and migrated all the things in our GCP cloud. And that's done. We have also researched and tested out some graph components that will be useful for our admin dashboard. And we have tested out with some training data so that like once the UI is finalized, it will be easier for us to implement the dashboard on the website. So we have done that. And in terms of like mobile app features, we have finished the bookmark feature, which was like suggested by our users, and we have implemented that one. And for next week, we'll set up an interview with these volunteer groups. Already we are in contact with one volunteer group who would like to be partner with us and work with us through the process. So we'll do our customer interview with them and hopefully identify their problems in order to be solved by our platform. We'll also do the feature prioritization, and we'll also do the documentation for these features, and we'll write their user stories and we'll do our prioritization in terms of completing our platform for the expo, and also adding some features for the new roles that we have in our platform. And yeah, we'll also finalize the user engagement and retention feature that we thought of, and we'll also do the documentation for that one and have an implementation plan to be implemented by next week. And we'll also do the researcher survey on similar products and hopefully see what's missing on other platforms and bring some of the best ones to our platform. So, any question?
I have a question. So I have two questions actually. The first one is, why did you move from Cloudinary to GCP bucket? And the second question is, can you mention some of the volunteer clubs that you agreed to work with together for testing out your platform?
Okay, so like the first one is Cloudinary. Like we are using the free service that's given with everyone's email. So at some point we'd pass the limit. So especially like now we have volunteers we have unloaded all volunteers to upload their resume. It will be full soon. So we have to do this migration to our GCP cloud. The other one is like with the existing NGOs, they have volunteers so, for example, on INPA, one of the existing NGOs that we have onboarded, there's someone else who leads the group, the volunteer group, and we call her, and then they have Telegram group that they closely share on, and if they even found another opportunity, they share on those Telegram groups. So we set her up, and she shared it on the Telegram group, and then they are using the other volunteers in that Telegram group using that. So we did that with the existing NGO volunteer group leaders, and the other the volunteer networks that we are currently in contact with are under use networks. They currently have around 500 volunteers that's registered and under them. So those are volunteer networks, and these are volunteer groups, closed groups. Yeah, testing that. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Next, it's going to be SkillBridge, and Yedidia will tell us the wins and the plans they have.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Yedidia. I'm from SkillBridge. So for this week, one of our main wins is the planning and the prioritization plan. So although it doesn't take too much time, but we believe it's the most important part of our next step. Since we are going to have the expo, also we are planning to make our beta release. We decided to have a clear steps of what we are going to follow on the next steps, as well as our yearly plans. So basically, we list all the things that we need to do for the expo and prioritize the important ones. So this is one of our weekly wins. The other one is the UI/UX design for both the mobile and the dashboard features are completed. So there were some updates based on some comments given from different people. So we decided to do a final touch of both the mobile and the admin dashboard, and we have finalized those design updates. The other one is our contest feature. So we decided to have a contest feature for our mobile app to increase engagement with our application, and the UI/UX design has been completed, and the mobile team is working on this feature. I would say it's 70% completed, and we'll try to finalize it by next week. And for the admin dashboard, our admin dashboard consists of the statistics, user management, as well as a reviewer part. So the reviewer part is mainly designed for reviewers, which will be mainly teachers, so that they can log into our platform and start reviewing contents, which is assigned for them. So it will be the same for the admin dashboard. I would say it's 70% completed. It will be finalized next week as well. So for the admin dashboard, we have been doing some performance improvement on the resource management, as well as adding some user-specific analytics for every of our users, a detailed view of different analytics for each of the users. We have deployed our admin dashboard as well on GCP, so that both the admin and the reviewer can actually access it. So our plan for next week will be, so one of the most important feature for us at this point is having a good quality content. So we decided to recruit teachers and have them reviewed our content. So we'll be onboarding teachers so that they can start the content review process as soon as possible. So that's our next week plan. We'll try to finalize the contest feature on the mobile, as well as there is some dynamic content features on the homepage, so that every time the user logins, you'll be able to see different things. So we will also try to finalize that feature, as well as some of the analytics and some of the left out tasks on the admin dashboard will be completed next week. The other one is we'll try to do a literature survey on similar products. We'll try to see how other learning platforms manage notifications and other stuff, so that we can follow those good steps. So that's our plan for next week. Any questions?
Questions? So who is using your app? Who's testing it for you now?
Right now, we have reached out to 3 schools, and we have their groups, and we are releasing it on the groups for alpha testing. And there are some students we are continuously contacting to get feedback. And yeah, so students are...
So the feedback is engaged? Like, are they interested in using your product?
Yes.
Things are going
Yeah.
Yeah. Grades, is it only for 12th graders?
No, it's for all high school students, but for especially for those who are preparing for the national exam, we have more features for them. But any high school student can use it for their studies.
And does the contest feature account for the grades that they are in, or is it only for the...
Yeah, we will be having like 3 categories for the contest, like for natural students, for social, and for grade 9 student, 10 students separately, so that they can compete evenly. So yeah, we'll have 3 categories for the contest. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Yedidia, for that. And next, we're going to be receiving wins and plans for Rated, and it's going to be presented to us by Binyam.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So for Rated, this week we've been working on some heavy tasks on the mobile and backend part. So we implemented security features on the backend. So our backend team worked on security measures such as like DDoS, CSRF, and other measures to secure our endpoints. So other thing is we've worked on all paginations on the mobile app. So we've pushed to finalize some performance issues, to fix some performance issues on the mobile end. And on the Telegram mini app, we decided to redesign the Telegram mini app since the current version is not performing really well or it's not intuitive enough. So we've started working on that, and hopefully we'll finalize it by next week. And also we've started dashboard implementation. Our remote UI member has been working on the dashboard design, and we've started implementing this week. So we'll continue implementing the dashboard next week. And for our next week plan, we have integrating our Google Analytics tool with our current database. So we have a session with Emre today to localize those informations into our own database. So we'll be working on that. And we'll also work on other remaining dashboard endpoints. So we have endpoints related to the restaurants and some information about the user currently, but we want to add more information about the user activity in our platform. So we are going to do more on that. And the Telegram mini app implementation is going to start next week. So the designs are going to be finalized, and after a review, our Telegram bot designers are going to work on the implementation. So we also have our next step features implementation. So we are pushing to finish the MVP plans we have. We also extended some of the features beyond our MVP plan. So we have added push notification and also finished localization on the mobile app. So you have some other language options like Amharic and I think Afan Oromo as well. So we'll finalize any remaining features on the mobile app and move on to next features. And that's all we have for next week plan as well. So any question for the team Rated? Thank you.
Thank you, Binyam. Next thing, it's going to be the conclusive remarks. We're going to receive it from Mr. Alper.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Mr. Alper.
You can hear me? Okay. As we are out of time, I'm going to make a short review of 2023 and how we should be looking into 2024. As you know, A2SV had a great year in 2023. Why? Because we have accomplished a lot of our goals, like the hackathon, like the expos, like the products that we are going to develop. So basically, A2SV is a long journey, and we have just completed a stage of it. We have the expansion, we had the new generations onboarded. So right at the time, we are restarting our journey for the future in 2024. And in long journeys like A2SV, there are always ups and downs, goods and bads. So basically, we should be aware of the fact that life is not, or the sun is always not bright. Life is not easy. But at the end of the day, we should also know that if we work hard, focus, respect our responsibility, and plan, we can achieve the best of we can do. So basically, as A2SV, we are a group, we are a family, and we are some people that are looking in the same direction. So in this direction, every single one of you has a responsibility. Whether you are from the education team or the community team or the communications team or managerial role or in the development team, you should always remember that if you work hard, your contribution, whatever your position is important for A2SV, because this year we have a great aim, which is to make A2SV self-sustainable. Of course, we are getting grants, but we should also generate our own financial ways to sustain our organization. So once again, for the long journeys, ups and downs always occur. But this mustn't prevent us to make the necessary steps to be taken. Could you please go to the quote of the week? This one is from a very famous mental thinker of India. He says, the journey is long, but the goal is in each step. Once again, read it by yourselves and do what you have to do because you have the capacity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Alper, for those words. And I think this is going to be the end of the weekly wins, the first weekly wins we've had in 2024. Thank you all for attending, and have a good night, the rest of you.